Hey, 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 welcome into another day. Tony talking trash about music. I'm coming back at you with those little guys that are confused about being in the 70s. I'm talking about the Lemon Twigs. I do really enjoy their music. A little disappointed at the viewership on this one. I guess they're too young for most of my old deals what it is, but I would tell you really, I think it makes sense to check them out. I think they're a great band. I need to find this list that I just had here, and I got it right here in front of me. I picked 15 songs this time. I was going to get cute and do 16 again, but I decided to take that one out here. So let's get started here on these young guys. And each of these songs, as I've said before, it's interesting. The great thing about this band from a young age understood that production and understood that instrumentation and placement were very more important than quote the groove or they're not that they can't be funky if they want to, but they are mostly a rock band. Let's be truthful. This is really good stuff. Any of this? I like it a lot. Like it well. But anyway, I think what's really important to remember about these guys is these guys, they're New Yorkers, to start with. I mean, they're from the island. Bunch of good kids, got good parents who love the Beatles. They were raised to like the Beatles. Let me put this up here a little bit. Can I get it? You see my thumb there? I'm going to right now hit you with 15 Twig songs, and let's start with number 15. Is a song called "The One." So we're talking about songs for the general public. I guess maybe what they considered the breakthrough record or the straightforward record that really was going to try to, kind of what the label was expecting when after they redoctored the stuff they had from what we know into do Hollywood. I think it was more or less what the label wanted when they got Go to School, and they got a conceptual album before. I love Go to School. Go to School again. I know it wasn't high on my rating thing. You're not going to see a lot on here, but it's still very, very good. The next song, I'm going to go back to the beginning of time with the song Frank. I just love it. I know they have a little quirkiness and a little weirdness with some of these early songs that I'm going to pick on this list, and I'm kind of predicated that way. I like that about I hesitate to say, but about the work of Ariel Pink too. Look, Ariel Pink made great music before he was an idiot and went down to 9/11 and what happened with that and the stupid statements he's made. The thing that's kind of shocking about a lot of it is he was kind of at the time, and I don't know why I'm inserting this in here, but he was kind of big over in France and big in different places. It really was his dad. His dad had money. His dad financed everything. If you listen to his record, like even that one little whatever the song is called, and that's a brilliant record. Before Today, when the one he did for 4AD, that was really really good too. And then 4AD is another reason why I'm thinking of 4AD. That's who signed the Twigs to start with. Let's go to school for small victories. I like this again. I As I've said before to you guys, I think it was too early for them to do a concept album. That album should be something they should be making about now. They should have built their way up a little bit more before that. Nevertheless, it's very, very good. It's not belied by its production. It's a little bit belied by surprisingly to me, by the pacing of it. Because as I've said for you guys before, there's four sides of that. And I think the sides 2 and 3 are probably the best. I like side 4 too, but side 1 is just, to me, probably my least favorite side of any Twigs record. It's just not, the songs don't catch me. I don't know what it is. I was expecting different. And after Hollywood, I was expecting something different, man. But anyway, and I'm going to go back up to present time here. Dream is all we know for Sweet Vibration. Great one on their own Captured Tracks label here, 2024. I know that there's a new Michael solo record. I do know that, but this is, as far as a group goes, this was the last one that they were working on. And a fine one it is. Back to the songs for the general public here, with the song with one of the coolest titles ever, No One Holds You. I think the whole concept of it, no one holds you better than the one that you don't know. Essentially, you're always looking for what you don't have. And great songs from general public. If that would have been a song would have been out in the '60s, the late '60s, that would have been a cool song. I always thought that would be a cool Beatles song. I like the twist of the lyric. I don't even know exactly what the words are there, but it's just so bizarre. Uh, to your heart or whatever it is. Anyway, number 10. Let's stay there for How Can I Love You More? Another greatly titled record. I think their lyrics have gotten better really throughout time. I think the last two records really show a maturity as far as lyrics go. It does as far as arrangements goes, as far as fitting into the mold. But I imagine they have a lot of. It sounds like when I hear their records, it reminds me of back in the time when I was working with a friend of mine back in DC, Ariel, who was very particular about things like that. And we would go back and forth about things, about ideas and things. And when you do a collaborative effort, that's part of the deal. I mean, that's part of it. And these guys, yeah, it must be kind of weird for Michael to put out this solo record and the other brother who's had just as much exposure and lots of this is probably a little more pouty than or ready to be, striking a pose before his brother. But anyway, I like it. Number 10, How Can I Love You More? Number 9, The Lesson, which is one of the peaks from Go to School. I like it. Reminds me a lot of the sound of that record. For some reason, reminds me of kind of a '70s concept record, almost like not quite a proggy thing, but a more light proggy thing, like maybe mix that with again, but I know the way they're dressed is the faces, but they do have that rock and roll thing going for them. We're going to go to the Harumata, one of the wildest ones on in my mind on Do Hollywood for number 8. I can't keep away, as I said, from these early things. I like these early ones the best. The ones that really hit me the hardest. I will come to like these guys a little more. I think if I'd see them live, and I have not seen them live, as I said, they played actually in Millvale, down near where the Attic Records is. Here it is. They actually played there this last time in Pittsburgh, and I couldn't go. I don't remember what the conflict was, but they were playing there, and I rode by the little place they were playing. It's tiny. I mean, it would have been a lot of fun. So next time they do, that's what I'm going to go. They have another great song title for number 7. They Don't Know How to Fall in Place from A Dream Is All We Know. Love the record. Love the song. Love the way it's sung though. The way it falls off the tongue is just it's a pretty song. It's a song you hear from I guess every parent would probably want their kids to be that mature to be fall in place, get your place in line, get your stuff. But I mean, there is a certain orderly to us when you get to a certain age, and these guys certainly are past that at this point. Um, let's go back to number 6. Go back to the first one again for these words. Love it, love it, love it, love it. It is. It's just again in the middle of the record. It's a good. Oh, I love it. I love the tune. I love the way you think it's going somewhere and it goes somewhere else. All those records, those first ones on the first album are so great. That would have been the time to see them really when they first came out. That would have been really something. But yeah, you don't know if it would have been more like a Bay City Rollers show or it would have been like something that would have been. And I know the guys from I heard the guys in I think I did heard the guys in Taste Like Music say that they knew them and they went there to the show. That would be kind of. That would be kind of great. Hey, listen, man. What probably at the time when it came off, this is the song I kept playing repeat all the time. Ghost Run Free from Everything Harmony. That was the one that got to me. I think they were onto something new there. I think they're the kind of band I imagine that sits around and works on things for a while and, debate on whether or not they're going to move a fourth or if it's better to move a sixth on the movement or so. Maybe they don't have discussions like that, but I think they're very particular about some of the stuff, and you can tell, especially in some of the turns of harmony that they went, because some of the complexity of the first record were turns of harmony and substitute chords that had been expanded on in different places and changed things. Hear that in jazz a whole lot. I'm going to go back to Go to School one more time for my favorite of all. if you give enough. And I hope they play stuff like this live. I was just thinking to myself, if they play live, I did not look at the set list of what they're playing mostly live, and I imagine they're probably playing Michael's record for the most part this time out. And the record that they're touring, but there's something about that that really meant something, and I think that that's really it. That's really where you want to go with it. So my further thing here, I was just clearing something away there, is number 3. Let's go to "I Want to Prove to You" again, from Do Hollywood. I can't help it. We're back there, and Um, although you're proud of me. My final 2 that I have here that I'm coming up for 2 and 1 are actually more modern things. And so, but "I Want to Prove to You" is probably one that I imagine that they probably play live now. I can't imagine it's not one of the more popular songs. And I did not consult that at all. I didn't even think about that. I could do that at some of these ones. They help me along maybe, but I want to do these from my experience and what I like. And yeah, some of the album cuts are better, but I think that was one I heard, played. So that was on alternative radio. So that had to be one of their big, and I imagine one of their most popular ones. But for me, it's number 3. It could be number 1. It could be number 1, number 2. Let's go with "Golden Years" from "A Dream Is All We Know." I love that. I love that song. That was the one that kind of stopped me in the tracks and thought, that they finally reached a sort of refined perfection with these songs, and a song like that. They've been pecking at it for a long time but I think it's well kept within those sounds. It sounds classic. It sounds timeless. It sounds like, some of the best stuff. And Dino and I were talking about the Laws the other day, and there's a certain authenticity to music that kind of transcends its time period. And I think that's what these guys are going for. And I think if they stick at it a little bit longer and they have a little bit more funding, and I hope it holds up for them. I can't imagine they're super rich from it. I can imagine that, if they're popular enough, they get to keep their tour reps, now they're with their own record label. I know their deal with 4AD is done. I just wonder how that went, and what the sales expectations were versus what came out, because I don't think they hit super high sales just because of the niche market that they're going for. I mean, a lot of their public, from what you understand, it's kind of a mixture between young kids that are interested in more of that young, fresh sound, maybe a lot of girls, even teeny boppers, mixed with the older crowd that really appreciates the craft that they're chipping at. So, uh, beautiful. But number 2, as I said, is my "Golden Years" from "A Dream Is All We Know." And for number 1, the one that kind of clinched me on everything harmony, the corner of my eye. It may not be number 1 for everybody else, but to me, it's the one that caught my ear. I thought it was the strongest song on there. I played it back, and it's one of those ones that you play over and over and over. And that's what a lot of these ones are. These are the ones that I go. And I will say that about the Twigs, that I like a lot of the records, but some of the ones that blend in, and you hear this thing, well, they sound the same. Well, their voices are very, the harmony palette they're doing and where they're going at sounds like that. But if you're talking about songs that stick out to me, these are the songs that stick out from the canon. Not that there's anything wrong with the other songs, but there are songs that the Twigs would be a band that I would really appreciate putting together like a playlist on. And I think this would make one decent. But anyway, that's my list of the Twig songs. You guys leave yours below. Please hit that like button for us. Come on, man. You need to hit that as much as you can. I love our audience. I love our listeners. I love our subscribers. Thank you guys very much for subscribing. Thanks for staying with us. Thanks for having a little bit of an open mind to stick with some newer stuff. We try to keep broad, and I think that's what makes us a little bit different. We're pretty eclectic, and we're pretty genuinely wide open here. We have everything from hardcore soul music to country music to bands like the Lemon Twigs to different things, because I've always felt, myself going into my potion and my creative process, the more stuff I get exposed to, the better, You never know where an idea is going to come from or be influenced by something. To me, that's a joy of music. And one reason why, all those 70s records that we wore out when we were young, do I need to hear those again? Not really. I mean, occasionally it's good to hear a note of it. I listened to some Todd albums the other day I hadn't heard in a long time, Utopia albums. Like Oops, Wrong Planet. What a strong album that is. I mean, it doesn't get really nobody ever gets, you don't hear about that, but there's a lot of real good songs on that record. But anyway, not often do I do that and go back to the 70s things and say, oh boy, I wish I'd catch up on it. But something like this, I think you can learn from it. I think you can learn from what they've done and the way they've crafted and the way that they've done things too. But anyway, thank you guys a lot for checking it out. And we will see you guys next time. Please leave your list below. Please like, please subscribe. Thank you guys. We love you guys. We'll see you guys next time with something fresh, something new. Catch you then.